can't do anything about it because you realize the cops are in on it. Because I know I tell you guys a lot of stories about things that happened to me out in the woods and in Appalachia and all that, but this happened to me in Florida when I was hopping freight trains. You see where this is going? So this took place back in 2017 when I decided to hike the Appalachian Mountains, and then I left and I started hopping freight trains because the forest fires kicked us off the trail. Just want to start this off with all the stories that you'll be hearing about these freight train yards and these, like trafficking issues. They are 100% real. It was me, my buddy Alex, and 2 other freight train hoppers. I specifically remember that when we first started doing this, the freight train hopper Will, he's experienced. He's been doing it for years. So he told me that if you want to do this, you need to be willing to withstand the things you're going to see and hear. Me thinking he was exaggerating until we ended up landing in Atlanta, Georgia. First freight train hop ended up going from Riviera Beach, Florida, up to Jacksonville and then up to Atlanta, Georgia. Specifically remember when the train came to a halt, he was like, okay, everybody find a hole in the fence so we can get out of here. Well, knowing that there was cops in the yard somewhere, we were slowly creeping along these freights. And I specifically remember I came across this one freight and I swear to God, this is what I heard on the side of the freight. It was like, the scary thing is it sounded very muffled. So me being me, I put my ear up to the freight like this, and like, I swear you could literally hear little kids like crying inside. I remember grabbing Will and saying, dude, we got to do something. We got to say something. And then he grabbed me by my shoulders and he shook me and said, do you want to get in your face? I said, what are you talking about getting in the face? There's cops over there. We can go right to there. And then that's when he looked at me and he was like, would you keep your mouth shut if someone gave you $250,000? And him having all these years of hopping freight trains, I knew I could trust him. That was the moment that I realized that they really are in on this. And we would have ended up getting arrested before we could have helped save anybody. Which, by the way, is probably the reason they seen us walking out and just let us go. Because down in Florida, to get caught hopping freight trains, it's a felony. So the fact that they just let us walk out, they knew we saw something. I am forever scarred. I will never be able to get those kids' cries out of my head.